Good evening, race fans, and welcome to tonight's coverage of the Area 51 Thursday Xfinity Series here on Green White Checkered TV. There are 90 laps here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway on the schedule for tonight's race here at the 1.5 mile Speedway. We're looking forward to a very exciting race here. Um, Definitely have had some good races in the past few weeks. Got a couple wins there, a couple last few weeks for Mr. Brian Wang, and he is does not look like he is in the field tonight, so he will not be able to three-peat. But there are plenty of drivers that are looking for a win. Brian being the first to repeat this season, so we'll see if we add another first-time winner this season or not as they tackle the higher banks of the Atlanta repave here in iRacing. So alongside with me is going to be the wonderful Matt Wagner calling the action, and looking forward to it tonight, Matt. So again, we'll be 90 laps here. We're just about finished with the qualifying session, getting ready to go here. A couple drivers taken to the track to get the last few seconds of track time and set a qualifying pace for the field to determine that starting lineup for you here. Got about a 20 car field for here tonight. Still some decent numbers here later in the season. We are on what is race number 7 of the year, so or of this season here, the third here in 2024. And we've got 2 more weeks until we get into the playoffs, the final 2 races of the season. So we've got this week. Obviously, we're off next week for Thanksgiving, and then December 5th will be Talladega Super Speedway before we get into the 2 race playoff chase, as December 12th and 19th will help determine the next champion here at Area 51. And we are getting drivers to their cars, and we will bring up that starting grid for you here, and we see Gabe Butler in the number 88. He is going to grab that pole position for Team Bootnaka Esports. Logan York in the number 02 is going to start in the number 2 position for tonight, outside pole for him. Robert Hooligan in the 126, another solid starting position for him there in third. Bud Steele in the number 6 Ford Mustang is going to be to the outside there of row number 2. Dean Wilkinson in the familiar Cheerwine number 55 is going to be starting top 5 for tonight. Eric Laurie of Team Bootnaka is going to be to his outside in that 071 Chevrolet. Carl Lingle there from Pennsylvania, he is inside of row number 4, side by side with his teammate Jeremy Osborne in the 41. Ryan Decker is going to start in the 9th position in that number 48 Sensi Chevrolet, alongside another Blind Squirrel Racing driver, Ambrose Kniebel, in the 04. As we move on back through the field, we have a pair of brothers here. The first two electing not to take qualifying time is going to be Patrick Groover and Seth Groover, starting side by side on the grid for the 6th row here. And we've got the rest of the field. Tom Dixon in the 411 is going to be inside of row number 7. Nick Wing in looks like he's actually got a number 28 or 38 paint scheme on the car tonight. So the 38 Barbasol car will be Nick Wing, scored as the number 28 here in iRacing. Ed DeBoer in the number 12 there is going to be inside of row number 8 with Jim Brooks in the Area 51 Green White Checker TV Ford Mustang to his outside. And Giovanni Ocapinti as well as Bob Fitzgerald are going to start shotgun on the field. Giovanni in the 000 and Bob Fitzgerald in the oh-so-famous 08. As we start to roll off here, it looks like we may have had a couple drivers actually miss the grid here. It looks like Gabe Butler and Eric Laurie are both starting from the pits here.
That's probably planned.
Yeah, so potentially planned. I don't know if that would be a penalty of sorts, but definitely interesting to see that they will both be starting from the pits here tonight. So Logan York is going to be, well, he's going to keep his starting position on the outside. And then Robert Hooligan is actually going to grab the pole, and I believe the 02 should be scored as the leader, and I believe will be the control car for this initial start here. But a little bit of a shakeup there as everyone in the inside line gets to move up one spot, and everyone behind where Eric Laurie started gets to move up one spot in the outside row.
Speaking of that 38 Barbasol call there, brings back a little bit of memories, man. I was driven by Elton Sawyer way back when.
Well, here we go. Off of 4, the pace car is on pit road, and we are ready for green flag action here on Thursday nights.
I can't believe I remembered that.
So we'll check in with Gabe and Eric. They are going to be at the tail end of the field here, so they will be one lap down to start this race. It shows Eric as 2 down, even though they both came off pit road together. So we'll see if that timing and scoring updates, but I believe they should both be 1 lap down to the field here, as Robert Hooligan is going to lead them into turn 3, already working on lap number 3. These laps click off very quickly here at Atlanta Super Speedway, actually through turn 2 and onto the backstretch now. Oh, there's a little bit of a caution in the back, and we've got a spin. Who is involved? Bob Fitzgerald involved in the yellow flag. It looks like the 88 and the 071 are going to have a chance to catch up here, which is good for them. That was very beneficial, but a ton of damage to the 08 of Bob Fitzgerald, and we'll see if we can understand where this all started. And you see here by now in the replay, the 000 is already slowed down, and the 08 nowhere to go, gets into the back of that American flag machine, and just tons of damage to both of those cars. We'll see if we can rewind it here just a little bit and see if we can understand where this happened. That is potentially the wrong replay spot, so we'll try and grab this yellow flag in OBS, and we'll just do a quick rewind here and take a look. And you see coming into turn, I think that's turn 1 there off the short chute, yeah. So the 000 starts to enter low and kind of starts going high, and then the car just kind of gets a little loose on him and makes contact with the 51. Not too much damage there, thankfully, for Jim Brooks, but you saw the damage for the 08 as the 000 and the 08 collected there and went for a wild ride at the back end of the field here. So we'll jump back live here and see what is going on there. You see Bob Fitzgerald stuck on pit road, going to be repairing some damage as well as the 000. Pit stops are underway, and it looks like the top 8 are going to stay out. Bud Steele will be the first to pit, and looks like most are taking 4 tires and fuel that have made a pit stop. And it looks like Gabe Butler and Eric Laurie are going to be the biggest beneficiaries here. Although they're okay. They're making their pit stops now. They're going to definitely be the biggest beneficiaries, as now they should be on the lead lap, I believe, as they come off a pit road here. All right, and with that, that's a quick yellow. We're going to go straight into a quick commercial break here, and we will be right back.
At Scentsy, we love fragrance. How it makes us feel, how it connects us to our deepest memories, how sharing those memories connects us with each other.
And as it turns out, there's a lot of people who feel the same way and share Scentsy's core values of simplicity, authenticity, and generosity. Our beautiful campus in Meridian, Idaho welcomes employees, consultants, and the community year-round.
That's why we've grown from selling just warmers and wax to selling a complete line of products so you can fill your life with fragrance no matter where your day takes you.
Whether it's fun partnerships with beloved brands, innovative, high-performing cleaning products, laundry care that smells as good as it works, or personal care products to create your signature scent, Scentsy products are made to share.
Maybe that's why our culture has always felt like family. We call it Scentsy Spirit. It's a feeling of love, acceptance, generosity, and community that we share freely with everyone we meet. And we welcome you to experience it yourself. Like it? Buy the product. Love it? Host a get-together with your friends. Want more? Start your own Scentsy business. You can earn amazing trips around the world and rewards. You can work your business whenever and wherever you want, giving you more time for the things and people that matter most. Ask your Scentsy consultant for more info.
And we are back again for the green flag here, just in time as the 126 is going to lead the field to the green flag once again. The 0-2 to his outside, Robert Hooligan and Logan York. After the pit road start for the 88 of Gabe Butler, they are still your front row as the 55 is going to push the 126 down into turn number 1. That caution was very beneficial for the 88 of Gabe Butler, as well as the 071 of Eric Laurie. So there was some errors in the timing and scoring that we saw here with SDK, iRacing Live Timing, and for some reason did not want to score Gabe or Eric appropriately with the pit lane start for both of these drivers. But the fortunate news is they were the tail end of the lead lap. They were not a lap down when the yellow came out. So for them, they were able to get caught back up. And there's a big moment there for looks like the 30 of Carl Lingle. Yeah, gathered up and moving forward, so we stay green, but that's going to separate the pack just a little bit. About a second ahead is now Jim Brooks, who is at the tail end of kind of the mid-pack, if you will, here. So that moment actually might have happened further on up front because Robert Hooligan is now back to the 7th position. And you see the 32 getting loose and into the back of the 6s, into the back of the 32. And there is the second yellow. Jim Brooks hard into the wall.
Ooh. Miss him. Don't move. Okay.
Man, that was a ton of action here. So we saw this live in almost this exact same view. We'll rewind it here and take a look as if we can see a little bit more about what happened coming into the corner. But the 32 headed towards the bottom and hits the apron a little bit potentially. Yeah, it looks like he might have got a piece of the apron and it kind of shoots the car up. He does as much as he can. Oh man, doing everything he can not to hit the 04, but it looks like they may have still net coded each other. The 126 gets in there, and then the 6 gets in the back, and then the 48 gets in the back of the 6. And yeah, Jim Brooks here. We'll go ride with Jim Brooks for a second here because he is just pulling to the apron. You see the lifting in the tailpipe there, and it just barely gets clipped by his teammate. So man, that's very unfortunate for Roswell Motorsports. A couple of their drivers all taken out by that one, and that is a obviously virtual. Thankfully, that is a heavy impact for the 51 of Jim Brooks there, and then he comes back down and hits the inside wall to boot. So definitely a tough night start for a few drivers out here. As we'll jump back live and we'll see some live pit stops. The 02 of Logan York has the second pit stall and is leading them down onto pit road. Gabe Butler going to roll through pit road here and then most likely pit the second time around. But that of the drivers that actually pit and stopped in their box to have service, Robert Hooligan will come out first, then Logan York, Patrick Groover, and Dean Wilkinson. And that will be the top 5 at the moment, and we'll see if Gabe Butler does elect to come back down and get service to his Chevrolet the second lap around. So the lucky dog should be, oh man, yeah, I think it would have actually been Bob Fitzgerald there. And if not, Giovanni Occhipinti may have gotten an extra lap back as he was 3 down. So we'll see if we can sort that out. But Another yellow means another opportunity here for a quick commercial break, and we will be right back after the message. Alrighty, we are re-racked and restacked and ready for the second restart of the night after the second caution coming through turn 3 and 4 at the moment. It's going to be Logan York side by side with Patrick Groover here on the front row after the restart. Quite a few cars with damage here, and it looks like Jim Brooks is still potentially getting a tow back to the pits, and he is still on pit road there. Giovanni Occhipinti is back out on track, and he is now 2 laps down. And it looks like he was able to get his fast repair, but Bob Fitzgerald continues to have heavy damage to that car as we take the green flag. Patrick Groover inching ahead at the start-finish line. Has a little bit of support there from some Blind Squirrel Racing teammates, a little more organized in that outside lane, but the 0-2 stays strong on the inside with the push from the 55 of Dean Wilkinson. Back up to speed and hopefully cooling down these track temperatures. They are very high, very hot. And a lot of drivers just losing the grip here early on, Matt.
Yeah, it's caught a few drivers off guard, and I think after the first 2 cautions, I think they're well aware of the situation they have in hand. It's right now. It's all going to be about conservation. Keep your car. Have 4 fenders on it, and man, I can see these cars are just skating all over the place.
Yeah, the 54 with a little contact in the wall through 1 and 2.
Yeah, you probably will see a lot of off throttle time. Probably less pushing and, as you say, drafting, which you would say.
Yeah,
Usually you see the 32 most really aggressive up there, but no, he's back there right next to Bud Steele and all them. Just taking his time, saving the car, don't want to push the issue.
Yeah,
Hot track temp.
This almost looks like a classic kind of Atlanta race. Like, you don't really see a lot of drivers like really drafting at all, and they're just kind of managing the handling. So it is very treacherous out there. Obviously, I mean, we know the old surface at Atlanta wore out very quickly. A couple more cars in the wall. Looks like the 54 again on entry to 1. And this is definitely not very characteristic of this new style track. Obviously, in the real world, this track will weather very quickly. As we know, the old surface was pretty much at the point where it needed to be repaired and repaved. But yeah, it's interesting to see these guys actually, I mean, genuinely having to manage some of these handling issues early on. I know we've seen a lot of excitement, especially here at Atlanta, but this has probably been one of what seems to be one of the loosest setups that we've had here so far.
Oof.
So, a little bit of a moment there for around back, but we're still rolling. Really, it's just going to be a conservation game at this point.
Yeah, Patrick caught the wall just off of turn number 2 here. He caught that little dirty area of the 55, and it's just he could not hammer the throttle down. It's one of these things that actually real life, really. And hot track name. Oh!
51 of Dean Wilkinson has a moment, slides, gets the apron,
He's
and he's
got
going to
it.
be okay. Yep. Treacherous.
Yeah. Especially toward the bottom of the racetrack where pretty much the progressive banking as you enter the corner and off the corner. That I would be just a little bit scared. Kind of just not try and hold the bottom. As you probably see a lot of drivers just wash up just like a classic NASCAR track.
Yeah, like I said, it's definitely giving classic Atlanta vibes at the moment. I mean, you don't really see anybody really trying to draft. Everyone's just kind of trying to manage what they can here. It's kind of fun to see personally. It's definitely, like we said, kind of old school Atlanta racing, but the O2 is the one to beat so far. Led a few laps here, and the 48 of Ryan Decker is slowly creeping his way forward. He is up 7 spots tonight so far, and that is the highest climber at the moment. He's looking for one more spot, though, trying to see if he can upset the O2 of Logan York and grab a lap lead as Carl Lingle there. Just a moment, just brushes the wall and stacks everybody else up on the inside line as they try to get around him. Both Groover brothers and the 126 of Robert Hooligan do. And then he's side by side with a few teammates as well as Gabe Butler there in the mix towards the back half of the top 10. And yeah, it's been an exciting 20 laps so far.
And for some drivers, it's pretty challenging. Some of your drivers are just, as you would say, on pins and needles. It looks like you really can't put the throttle down. He's trying to run that top lane. You usually have the momentum. Just keep your foot into it. It looks like, I guess you can say it's not really rubbered up. I guess. Actually, you know what? The more rubbered up it is in hot weather, the greasier it's going to be. So you're going to see a lot of these drivers try to run the bottom of the racetrack. Again, that 54 car of Patrick Gruber up there is still working at top as we go three wide. Yeah, which is where I'm kind of like really scared right now.
Yeah, the 48 stuck it in there in turns 1 and 2, and then the 54 said, I want a part of this action, and he is going to try and stay high, wide, and handsome, but the O2 prevails on the bottom for now. Not quite. There he is. Not quite clear. And head of the 54 just about, and he's going to make his way to the top lane there, enter from the top, drop to the bottom, and the 54 is going to do what he can to try and continue that momentum around the high side. The 48 still working that bottom lane on the inside. He had a good run into the O2, but he kind of backed out of it into turn 3 the last time around, knowing that they were 3 wide, and was a smart move just to kind of try and keep some preservation in this race, because we've seen some quite a few incidents early on in this one. Now finally getting into a little bit of a rhythm, but you can tell how hard these drivers are working just to keep these cars headed the right direction, as the 48's going to try and make another move to the bottom here. Turn 1 and 2. 3 wide again, maybe. There it is. 54 gets into the wall.
No.
Slows down.
Boy.
No damage, but he's going to drop a few spots.
Hey, he's going to lose a ton of spots there by catching that wall back there. But I'd rather put myself in the predicament of not wrecking anybody else. Just kept it up there close to the wall. That's really smart. Speaking of smart drivers, I see a certain car that's third on the bottom driving a very smart race right now. That's the 88 of Gabe Butler, taking his time through the field, saving his time.
That was a moment there. The 6 is going to get loose. I don't know. They looked like they were very close to the 08 as he came off a pit road. The 30 still sliding, and he is going to keep it pointed the right direction. Wow.
Wow.
They were really, really close to the 08 as he was coming off a pit road. I'm not sure if anybody managed to get a little net code there, but that was definitely a moment for quite a few drivers, as Bud Steele's going to drop all the way back to 10th here now, and quite a few guys are just kind of hanging out in the back here like, hey, let's just wait and see maybe what happens up ahead. But there's still a great battle going on for the top 4 at the moment, side by side, 2 rows deep. The 54 coming back, trying to make that high side work again, but now he's going to jump. No, actually the 48 is going to jump to the bottom and push the 32 ahead and into the lead through turns 3 and 4 as this front group tries to regather. Ooh, moment.
Hang on to it, Ryan.
3 wide again.
This is actually, pins and needles. I'm just kind of like crossing my fingers and please don't die. Please don't die.
The 48 absolutely has just a great ability to get in the corner really well. The 02 still running the high side. And then obviously the 32 and the 54 are just kind of running whatever line they can. But the 54, a good run through 3 and 4. He's going to get across the nose of the 02. The 02 is going to cross him over back to the inside. And he is going to try and lead a lap there. It's going to be the 02, though, at the line, as they are all trying to go for as much real estate as they can on this very hot and slick Atlanta Motor Speedway tonight. 48 getting loose. The 54 getting looser into the wall. 3 wide again.
Yeah, oh my God. I'm hearing these guys over the mic, and they are just laughing it off, having a good time out there. My goodness.
So Logan York continues to prevail in that 0-2. The 48 has the moves on the bottom, but cannot quite make the deal, as the 88 is going to try and enter his name in the text here, as in the chat. So he's trying to get there, and he's going to clear the 48, it looks like. We'll see if Ryan has a run off the corner. Not quite. 88 is clear into second place. Gabe Butler climbing back up, trying to get back to that number 1 pole position, which he did not start from at the beginning of the race. Obviously starting from pit lane, and then the fortunate caution for him early on to keep him there on that lead lap. But he is up to P2 at the moment, and Logan York, who qualified second, is the only one in his way still, as Robert Hooligan has also rejoined the top 3 after starting third here tonight. Ryan Decker settles in back into 4th. Seth Groover in the 5th position, then Carl Lengel, then Patrick Groover in the 7th. Jeremy Osborne, Ambrose Kniebel, and Bud Steele, your top 10 at the moment.
Very interesting. Now I'm seeing an appearance of that 126 of Robert Hooligan. He's been quietly, just slowly creeping in there. I think he was admired back there probably in about all the way up to 10th spot for a while. Now he's slowly creeped up here in the top 3. I think he has gone to the conservative mode. Same as Gabe Butler up there now. It looks like Gabe Butler is looking to the inside of Logan York there, and he's going to take over the top spot.
We'll see if the 02 is going to cross him over. And
never mind.
He will. Yep. But the 88 should have enough momentum. No, it will be the 02 across the line. So 88 has not yet led a lap. The 02 is absolutely timing that move perfectly, getting past into 3 and then off the corner off of 4, leading back to the line. And who knows, that practice could be very beneficial for the 02 later on in this event, as we're only 1/3 of the way through. But he's gaining absolutely a great notebook for trying to figure out where to be at what time and what moves to make to potentially try and win this one, as he's going to lead yet another lap side by side there with Gabe Butler, and they are absolutely vying for every spot here in the top 6. It is changing quite a bit, as there's a little bit of a moment. The 48 gets a little looser again onto the apron. He collects it, and he's going to lose a few spots, but he will keep it straight and rolling as Logan York takes back over the top spot and continues to hold it.
Don't worry, Caitlin. It looks like your man's all right there. He saved the car. But one thing to go back here to Logan York here, I have raced with him multiple times. He is a very aggressive racer. Wants to lead all the laps, wants to stay up front. That's his MO. It looks like it's really paying off for him, but it looks like that 54 has climbed back up toward the front, and he wants to lead back from Logan York there.
Trying as much as he can on the outside with the momentum. We'll see if he gets him at the stripe. The 02 just barely able to continue to hold that top spot lap after lap, as he's had quite a few challengers on the inside and the outside trying to grab that top spot, as the 88's getting loose and saves it.
Hang on to it. Yeah.
He's going to hold on to it.
God, I saw that car go sideways.
Yeah. These cars are an absolute handful, and it sounds like these drivers are having so much fun with it as well. And you see Caitlin Decker saying, yep, he'll be back. Ryan will be back there. Looks like he's hanging out for a little bit there in the 11th spot. And we know he's definitely got some pace to be up at the front, but for now, hanging back with a few of his other Roswell Motorsports teammates and just kind of riding this one out so far. But Logan York continues to be the top man of the hour, as he is got a wreck behind him.
We got a wreck, guys. Gets Carlingo in the back.
Yep, Jeremy Osborne involved, and the yellow is out for the third time tonight. And we'll take you straight to that replay, and you see some
teammates.
Yep, teammate on teammate action here.
Oh, you hate to see it.
As we'll see how this one unfolded. Looks like it was unfolding well into turn 1 and 2 here, so we'll see with Carl Lingle here. We'll see if we can understand what happened. The 32 there peeking to the middle, and we'll see how the green and orange cars of Blind Squirrel Racing managed to make contact. The 126 is a little high into the corner there. The 30 looks like he gets close to the wall. And we'll just watch and see what happens. You see the 54 is actually loose ahead of them.
Yeah. Okay, looks like he's coming on the racetrack.
Oh, the 30 gets loose on the apron there.
Oh,
there it is.
Gotcha.
The 41, excuse me. Yeah, so the 41
You're
of
right.
Jeremy Osborne just barely gets loose, has to chase it up, and unfortunately, there's a teammate to his outside. Now, I think fortunately for both of them, that's not going to be a ton of damage. And we'll watch it through the replay and see if we can understand if anything else did happen there. So the 41 finally making contact with the outside wall, but him being turned around was plenty for the yellow to come out. So fortunately for the teammates, that's not too much damage, and that should be plenty to be able to repair fairly easily here as we throw the third yellow for the night.
Yeah, as you said, it's not too much damage. I think it kind of looks like Carlingo got away with murder, as you would say. But
a little bit.
But you hate to see teammates get together like that.
Oh, absolutely. Obviously,
that's the worst.
Yeah, nothing. I mean, obviously Jeremy clips the apron just a little bit, gets a little loose with the conditions that we've seen, and unfortunately, has to chase it up into the teammate there. But no harm, no foul. They are going to be okay. They're repairing a little bit of damage, but it looks like they've both made it out of their pit stalls and should be underway. So Logan York led them down to pit road, and he's going to lead them off of pit road as well. Gabe Butler will come second, then Robert Hooligan and Bud Steele, as well as Ryan Decker back up into the top 5. And we will be ready for a commercial break in just a second here as we bring back another commercial from our wonderful sponsor, Sensi.
At Sensi, we love fragrance, how it makes us feel, how it connects us to our deepest memories, how sharing those memories connects us with each other.
And as it turns out, there's a lot of people who feel the same way and share Sensi's core values of simplicity, authenticity, and generosity. Our beautiful campus in Meridian, Idaho welcomes employees, consultants, and the community year-round.
That's why we've grown from selling just warmers and wax to selling a complete line of products so you can fill your life with fragrance no matter where your day takes you.
Whether it's fun partnerships with beloved brands, innovative, high-performing cleaning products, laundry care that smells as good as it works, or personal care products to create your signature scent, Sensi products are made to share.
Maybe that's why our culture has always felt like family. We call it Sensi Spirit. It's a feeling of love, acceptance, generosity, and community that we share freely with everyone we meet. And we welcome you to experience it yourself. Like it? Buy the product. Love it? Host a get-together with your friends. Want more? Start your own Sensi business. You can earn amazing trips around the world and rewards. You can work your business whenever and wherever you want, giving you more time for the things and people that matter most. Ask your Sensi consultant for more info.
Pace car is off, and we are back underway. Logan York continuing to lead us to the green flag here after the third yellow flag we have seen in what has been a very treacherous night so far early on. So you heard from, obviously, the yellows give us a chance to play a few more of our commercials, and you got to hear from our wonderful partner, Sensi, once again. Obviously, the sponsor of the number 48 of Ryan Decker there. We appreciate Caitlin and Ryan for bringing them to the league, and the area, or the QR code that you see at the end of the commercials there, if I'm not mistaken, that will actually go back to help support Caitlin and her account with Scentsy. So make sure you stop by your fragrance destination for all of your fragrance needs, and see if we can help out Caitlin for all that
Oh, we
her and Ryan have
got
done
another
for the lead.
yellow.
And there it is once again, further back
What
in
happened?
the pack. Trying to see. Looks like Eric Laurie slow on the speedway.
Oh boy.
Bob Fitzgerald potentially also involved. Not entirely sure just yet. Yep, there we go. So further on in the pack. And we'll do a little rewind as always. Wish we had some better spots to pick up for these. I apologize, but we'll rewind as usual and we'll make sense of it all. So we'll try and see. So as we come into the corner here, the 08 just kind of drifting a little high, and you see the cars getting loose. 54 already trying to turn down the hill to avoid it, and then Eric Laurie just going to get tagged.
Innocent victim.
Yeah, absolutely. And then boom, man, that'd be a pretty hard hit in the real world. Thankfully, we are just in the virtual here tonight as the 071 at Matco Tools machine goes around, and yeah, just a little bit of a loose condition for Bob Fitzgerald, and that is that. So we'll jump live here and see. Looks like we got a couple takers down pit road. Gabe Butler's actually going to lead the charge here. He's going to have Ryan Decker, Seth Groover, Bud Steele, and Dean Wilkinson behind him. Logan York and the rest of your top five, Robert Hooligan, Jeremy Osborne, Ambrose Knievel, and Carl Lingle, are all going to stay out on the speedway. And we are just about to the halfway point here. Caution number 4. And yeah, this one's been an interesting one so far here, Matt.
It has been really interesting. Drivers have been taking their toll about halfway here. Some of these guys have done very well, as the O2 has done very well. You just see his car control is very good. Robert Hooligan has gotten hands on things. He's sitting there running up in second. Unfortunately, do I see a Bud still up there in the top 6? Yes, he is done very well for himself. After that one little close encounter that he had, he's kind of just taking it easy right there. But I suspect he will be up toward the front as the laps count down.
Yeah, I mean, he's been, definitely, conservative to some degree, but he's been in the mix for sure. Obviously, we've seen the 88 of Gabe Butler drive back up through the field. Ryan Decker has been up there as well, as they are going to come down, looks like a second time, a little more fuel in all of these cars further on back from now 6th on back. Logan York has definitely held strong at the point for quite a while here. Robert Hooligan had a bit of a moment, shuffled back a little bit, and has worked his way back up. And obviously the Blind Squirrel Racing drivers fill out the rest of the top 5. And they are taking advantage of the yellow flag here and staying out as they last pit on lap 36. So not too long ago. Expecting that there could be some more incidents further on. But the lights are finally off on the pace car. And figured with the quick yellow, we'll save a commercial break. Potentially assuming we may have another opportunity for one here not too long. Hopefully not, but yeah.
I would like to see go green to the end.
How
about you, Logan?
Yeah, I definitely think so, but we will see. I'm hoping, but we've had some chaos here early on.
Yeah. It's the condition of the hot track, my friend. Just
So once again, the 0-2 on the front row alongside Robert Hooligan. So that'll be Logan York grabbing another restart in control as pace car dives onto pit road and gets ready for the restart. And green flag back in the air, up through the gearboxes they go, sailing off into turn number 1, just about to the halfway point of this one, working on lap number 44.
I was kind of afraid to say something after our first lap here. I really was. I was kind of, because usually on these cold tires here on the first lap, it's kind of a little bit tricky. As the tires start warming up, they feel a little bit better, but you still have to be conservative with them.
02 and the 126 as well as the 41 single out, single file. Working on lap number 45, 67 and 1/2 miles to go in tonight's contest. As the 44 continues to make moves on the high side, he's going to go around the outside of the 41 there. He has repaired quite a bit of damage, actually, to that number 54 Toyota on these cautions here, and car's pretty close to back to shape, and you see he's just still getting very loose on the high side and absolutely probably enjoying the heck out of just slinging it up there.
Who was that? That was Ambrose back there. He had a little bit of a moment back there, but we stayed green.
Yeah, Ambrose Knievel is there all the way back down to 16th at the moment. So big moment for him there. We've seen him with the blink of the connection issues, but not entirely sure what's happened there as he is catching back up to the pace. He will probably go one lap down here, and it does look like Bob Fitzgerald and Bob Fitzgerald is actually, I believe, retired from the race. Jim Brooks is scored 14 laps down. Not entirely sure where the issue was for him, and you see Giovanni Occhipinti in the American flag Ford Mustang having some connection hiccups at the moment.
Squirrel action again.
Ooh, here we go. Jeremy Osborne is around and almost up and over. A big moment for the 41. And we'll see if we can understand how this one unfolded. Oh, man, that's...
Bad squirrel.
Yeah.
Looks like, one driver we really haven't talked about, actually a couple of drivers we haven't talked about, got involved in an incident that the 28 of Nick Ween and the 12 Ed DeBora there, they've been in the back, minding their own P's and Q's, trying to save their cars. And it looks like Ed's car is kind of, as you would say, dog tracking it. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, you see the 12 just barely getting clicked at the back there, but yeah, that was interesting. The 30 kind of sends it in there. The 28 to Nick Wing just barely making it through, sliding to the inside, taking out the blue pit road cone, and then you see the 000 just coming in very late and making the big contact to the 41 there. But yeah, it was interesting. You saw the 30 come into the corner there, and just kind of tags the left rear of the 41. Hopefully that's not some teammate payback. I don't think so, but definitely some frustration for both of them tonight, and a night that they will hope to probably soon forget. Obviously. I know Dale Jr. says it a lot about the Xfinity series. When you put 4 cars out on the racetrack, and then obviously for Blind Squirrel Racing, it's 3 cars. But when you put 3 cars out on the racetrack, they're gonna make contact with each other at some point. It's almost unavoidable, and for them tonight, I'm sure definitely unfortunate. But life goes on, and they'll come back stronger and try to regroup a little bit here. Still on the lead lap. It looks like the 41 has taken his fast repair, so. Should be good to go, and you'll see Carl Engel there also with a mostly fresh-looking race car. He's only going to be scored in the 7th position. Jeremy Osborne, I think, it looks like he did get trapped 1 lap down during that pit cycle, though. So he should be the first car 1 lap down. Giovanni Occhipinti is not on track. Neither is Bob Fitzgerald. So Jim Brooks should be able to catch up a few laps here. He's 15 down, but other than Jeremy Osborne is the only car 1 lap or over a lap down on track. Ambrose Knievel is actually going to continue to stay out here and see if he can take advantage of some track position. So he has not pit for the last 2 yellow flag cycles. But we will be right back. We're going to take another quick break and hear from our sponsor, Whiplash SimCams. And we've heard some solid team camaraderie from the Blind Squirrel Racing group. There's a lot of laughs going on in the Discord channel for them, so good spirits for the 41 and the 30 as the 04. Their teammate is going to lead us back to green here. And we are back underway once again. Lap 52 that we are working on now, and a big jump for the 04. And the 02 is going to follow in his footsteps, the 126. And the 48 didn't get quite going on the restart. And the 48 is actually going to drop down to the bottom there and try to pass the 126. And 126 is going to lose a little bit of ground here on this restart.
Squirrels. Nothing but squirrels on this broadcaster today.
Back to the lead, it is the 02 of Logan York who has controlled a considerable portion of this race so far. And you can see he's running a very old school Atlanta line, entering high, dropping to the bottom, and exiting the corner low on the backstretch. As he is now followed by the 126 of Robert Hooligan, the Budweiser 3 Doors Down tribute. The 88 of Gabe Butler on through back into the top 3 once again. And your top 3 starting positions now back into the final, or the top 3 podium placings at the moment. Ambrose Kniebel settling for 4th as Ryan Decker continues to battle inside the top 5. Patrick Groover and Seth Groover behind Bud Steele. And Eric Laurie back up into the top 10 here. A little bit of moment for the 32 of Seth Groover. It looks like as he is slow, and the 54 potentially involved, I'm not sure, but off the pace and getting back up to it for the Groover brothers as they slide outside, just outside the top 10 here. At the front, though, it is still Logan York back in command, the 126. The good run down the backstretch. See if he's going to take it. He is not. He's going to give him a big shove down the backstretch there.
Yeah, Logan has, speaking of Logan, he has driven a fantastic race. This is line. It's very good. For him to save tires, and that old school line is going to work really good.
It's the 126 having to chase it up the hill just a little bit. That's going to open the door for the 88 of Gabe Butler, as they are starting to put a little bit of a gap on the rest of the field. Bud Steele there now up to 4th place. That's where he started. Ryan Decker is up 4 spots in the 5th position. Ambrose Kniebel in the 04 is up 4 spots in the 6th position. Another lap led for Logan York, though, as he's got the 88 knocking on the door on the inside. Logan spent about 15, 20 laps or so leading every lap, but with a different challenger to his inside, to his outside, and managed to continue to hold that lead. And he holds off the 88 as Robert Hooligan settles back into 2nd. And Logan clicks off another lap led, lap number 58. And we are almost at the 2/3 mark for the scheduled distance of 90 laps here tonight.
Looks like everybody is kind of copying the 02 of Logan York of his line. And it's really paying off for some of these drivers.
So Logan York in the 02 here. He is going to be in 1st place at the moment. 2nd place goes to Robert Hooligan as they run. Gabe Butler here in 3rd position after starting on the pole, but starting on pit road, actually, grabbing the pole, qualifying 1st. Ambrose Kniebel battling back up into the top 5 here, followed by Seth Groover and Bud Steele. Ryan Decker battling well within the top 10 and in the top 3 at points tonight, looking to mount a charge in the later stages of this race. Eric Laurie, good recovery after a couple incidents that he's been involved in, mostly not of his own doing. and wrong place, wrong time, but back in it. We saw the same for Ed DeBoer as he was caught up in a caution, and none of his own doing, but
Oh,
back in it. And a moment up at the front there.
yeah,
So
it's
he's trying to
3
go through the
wide up at the
field. 3 wide,
front.
4 wide. The 32 is going to get into the wall. And we're going to stay rolling. Continuing on through the field, if we can, Nick Wing up here in the top 10 in the 38 Barbasol car, again shown as the 28, but 38 on the car for tonight. Carl Lingle has taken his fast repair and is hanging on a little bit further back as Dean Wilkinson's kind of employing the same strategy here, back in 12th place. Tom Dixon here, as well as Jim Brooks, so 13th and then 17th, further on back in a pack of their own. Then you see Jeremy Osborne has lost the lead draft, and he is slowly falling back. And actually, Patrick Groover is off of the pace as well, and he is now scored 2 laps down. So we definitely missed a moment there for Patrick Groover there. And then, Giovanni Ocapinti and Bob Fitzgerald have both since retired for the night. Back up to the front, though, it is still Logan York as he is being challenged by the 32 of Seth Groover now, as the 88 and the 126 are side by side behind them.
Yeah, a couple of young drivers, but I'm looking at a couple of old guys back there just getting up there and teach these young little kids how to get it done.
Logan York still somehow managing to keep them all at bay. Clicking off laps led. Getting close to, I would assume, the most, locking up that the most laps led for the night. As Seth Groover continues to work the high line, Gabe Butler and Ambrose Kniebel there working together as the 32 drops to the bottom. He's going to have Robert Hooligan behind him, as well as Bud Steele and Ryan Decker. Eric Laurie, Ed DeBoer, and Nick Wing just kind of hanging out towards the back of this pack. And we are just about to the point where we will start counting the laps down.
We're 3 wide at the front again, Boomer.
Does the O2 continue to miraculously click off laps led? He's going to. No, maybe not. That was close, too close to call, but the 126, a little bit of an advantage going into 1. The 32 high and still trying to battle 3 wide now as the 88's going to cover inside of the 32, and he's going to fall a few spots back. The 126 and the O2 still side by side. Gabe Butler leading a charge to get back up to the front. Counting down, as we said, 25 laps to go, 24 this time at the stripe. The 126 should finally get a lap led here. Maybe not. The O2 with the run back on the top, and he continues to find ways to lead laps around this speedway.
You know, Boomer, we haven't really talked about fuel this whole entire race, but these drivers have still to make one more pit stop. The question is, are we going to stay green to have a green flag stop? And if so, are these drivers going to take fuel only? 2 tires? 4 tires? I know what I'd be doing. 4.
Yeah, we'll see. I know early on here at Atlanta, you almost had to take 4 tires in some of the first races that we had a couple seasons ago here when we added this track to the schedule. And for a little while in the middle there, 2 tires in the track position kind of became king, but this latest update for iRacing and the models of the physics, the physics models of the simulation here in this software have changed quite a bit. The setups have changed a lot too, and now it's almost a necessary evil. Even funny enough, obviously it's not a true super speedway. But with the super speedway style of racing, where it is pretty much full throttle most of the time, you really do need to focus on the handling with these cars here. and 4 tires will be, it'll be interesting to call to see who does take 2. That'll be a gamble for sure for that track position, because that'll get you about 6 to 7 seconds ahead of everybody else who takes 4 tires. But 4 tires after all the chaos we've seen, I think is absolutely the right call here tonight, Matt.
Oh, we got contact on the front.
The 126 is around into the wall in front of Gabe Butler. Heavy contact for both of those Chevrolets. As Gabe Butler's going to try and drive it back to pit road. He may not have power to do so, though.
Man.
A wreck at the front. And you see here the 126. Rewind just a bit, as usual.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
going to try to grab TV1
unfortunate.
here. Yes, you see the 126 here. Might have grabbed a piece of the apron. The car kind of shoots up a little bit there, and unfortunately the 88 is tight on his door in there, and big heavy contact. The 32 also involved. We'll see, does the 071 actually get through this okay? I think he does. Yeah, he jumps to the bottom fast enough. So the 32, I think, is the only other one that's really involved in that one. As obviously Gabe and the 126 make heavy contact with the outside wall after contact with each other. And yeah, that was, I mean, it looked like the car just shot right almost for the 126. I don't know if the apron was involved or not, but it's really tough to hang on to that when, obviously 88's just racing hard there, and they're both, yeah, it's I don't think it's anyone's fault there, but with the 88 being tight on his door, there wasn't much that the 126 could move up, and yeah, unfortunately, a bit of a racing deal, but pit stops are going to happen, and I think, Matt, your question is answered, that we are not going to see a green flag pit stop here tonight.
Did I jinx it?
I don't know if you did or not. Yeah, I don't think you did. Obviously, we wanted to see it always go green to the end, but we got 19 laps and to go. It's gonna be definitely a shootout here in the later stages of this one. Everybody coming down pit road for 4 tires and fuel. Some coming down for damage repair. Logan York is gonna come out first. Bud Steele is gonna be second, followed by Ryan Decker, Ed DeBoer, and Eric Laurie. And it is absolutely go time. As these drivers get ready for what could be the final run to the end. And we will come back once again with another commercial for you here. We'll actually we'll pull up the 4D Racewear commercial and have some give some love to all the guys at F40 Racewear, and we'll be right back after this commercial break.
4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 4D racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
Re-racked and stacked, ready for another restart here after the 6 caution, 6th restart. Logan York, familiar face as the control car here, has led us to most of these restarts and surely has led most of the laps here tonight, as he has taken over control of this race and is going to try and bring this one home in just 18 laps time. Bud Steele is going to try and avoid that, take it for himself, as he's had a solid run here tonight. Ryan Decker back up into the top 3, has shown some strength in the earlier stages. Ed DeBoer with a fresh car, ready to go. And we are pace car off, and back through the gearboxes we go. Green flag in the air once again. The 0-2 of Logan York back to try and control this race once again. 17 to go as they cross the stripe. and we try to close the deal on this one here tonight. Gabe Butler with some extensive time on pit road trying to get that fast repair after the tow, and he unfortunately is going to be put 1 lap down here. So is the 54, actually sorry, Gabe is now 3 laps down as it's scored. So Patrick Groover, the lone car, 1 lap down, and we've got 12 cars. Oh, the 30 to the inside in the grass. He's going to come back up, no harm, no foul. We're going to keep rolling. Didn't lose much speed, but lost a little bit of track position there, as him and his teammate Jeremy Osborne and Bud Steele actually spun out into the grass, no caution, and he is going to be off the pace, getting back up to speed, and that is a terrible ending for his night. Hopefully something could happen to have him recover, but absolutely not what he wanted after a very strong showing here tonight for the 6.
That is pretty unfortunate, as I went back and looked at it as more of a netkill deal. A very tough break for Buzz Steele there, and he was one of my picks to win this race. I gotta stop doing that. I gotta stop picking drivers.
Well, we're 15 to go. We'll be 14 at the stripe. The 32 is trying on the high side to get around the 02. Logan in position to lead another lap here. Some momentum for the 32, though, as they stay side by side. We've not seen much of the 12 of Ed DeBoer, other than the unfortunate caution that he got caught up in as he dives down under the apron. And then, the 32 makes contact.
Oh, no, don't
and
come back
up into the field.
No.
No yellow as the car stayed straight, but the 32 went off track, came back on, and we are still green.
Wow.
Big moment for the 32. Looked like him and the 04 may have made a little bit of contact, and there's the yellow now coming out. Delayed yellow, but that'll give us a chance to see if we can head back to what happened here with Seth Groover. You saw him by now. He's already on the apron, so do a little rewind as always and see if we can make sense. So coming down the backstretch here, you see the 04 jumping low, and you see the back of the 32 kind of just gets lifted up just enough. A little bit of contact there sends a 32 to the inside, and unfortunately, no chance for him to get that car slowed down. And he starts to, you see the, obviously trying to check up hard. You see him coming across the field, almost back up into the 04 who he originally made contact with, and that's going to take out Dean Wilkinson and the 126 of Robert Hooligan after a strong run for Robert there. And I think that's going to be it for those involved, everybody else to get around that incident. But a very heavy impact there for a couple cars.
Yeah, I'm a little bit bitter on that one. That Robert getting involved in that after him running up front, pretty much the majority of the day and heavy race and just like that. That's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, definitely been a tough night for a lot of drivers who have just kind of been in the wrong place at the wrong time. But you see most of the field here led by Ambrose Knebo coming down to get 4 fresh tires and fuel. As we'll see, it looks like Nick Wing's actually going to come off first, followed by Ed DeBoer, so they'll remain in the top 5. Logan York electing to stay out, pit last on lap 71, so he's going to have 8 lap older tires than everybody from Nick Wing on back. Tom Dixon and Carl Lingle will have the same tires, and it looks like the 88 of Gabe Butler was going to try to wave around the pace car, but because 3 drivers stayed out, he will not have the opportunity to try and get closer, 1 lap closer back to the lead lap. So that's going to trap him 3 down. The good news for Patrick Groover was the lucky dog for him, so he is back on the lead lap. As we got a few cars in pit road trying to repair some damage, including both Groover brothers. But further on to the back of the field, we know Giovanni Occhipinti and Bob Fitzgerald have retired early. Jim Brooks, who's also repairing a little bit of damage right now, has passed both of those drivers just by staying out on the track long enough. At this point, I don't know who else he could potentially catch and pass. It's possible that he could pass Dean Wilkinson, who I think has retired, and I think Robert Hooligan has as well. So Jim Brooks, 15 laps down, with only 10 to go, would not be able to pass either of them, actually. So I think that'll be 16th for Jim. And it looks like Seth Groover is stuck trying to take a tow back to the pits for some reason for himself. So not entirely sure what exactly happened there. But we are lights off on the pace car, so we're not going to take another commercial break. And we'll try to get ready for the restart here as Logan York continues to control this field with all the chaos going on behind him. He's got the 411 of Tom Dixon, who we've not seen much of at the front of this pack. He's been laying low towards the back, trying to preserve that Chevrolet. And then we see Carl Lingle and Nick Wing. Nick Wing we've seen flash stuff towards the front. Carl Lingle we've seen up front as well, and involved in a few incidents with teammate Jeremy Osborne, who has recovered to the 6th position. Ed DeBoer we saw wrong place, wrong time. Had to take a fast repair early on, but he is up here in the 5th position. And then Ryan Decker, who's been in the mix all night long there, finds himself in 7th. Eric Laurie, 8th. Bud Steele, 9th. Good recovery for him. And Ambrose Kniebel in 10th as we get this thing restarted with 10 laps to go. Nine as they cross the stripe, the 0-2. Jumping back to the high side. Back to the bottom for that classic Atlanta line. And they'll be 3 wide behind them. The 38 of the 28 of Nick Wing going to go to the high side around the 411. The inside has the advantage, though, and Carl Lingle's going to slip on through, and he's going to try and challenge for the lead.
Oh, boy. Hang on to it, boys. We're 3 wide back there.
Getting dicey further on back. The 30 of Carl Lingle has now taken over control of this race as the 0-2 and the 12 try to go 3 wide. No, they don't, and they're wrecking behind them.
Oh, no.
No yellow. There it is now. 411 involved. The 41 involved. And we'll do a little rewinding and see if we can understand where this one started. We know where it started. There's some 3 wide action that we'll watch on the front stretch here. And we'll try to...
Yeah.
Hold on to TV2 here. Yep. See the 411 drifting up, but then starts to turn down. As they enter turn number 1, it just looks like the 411 just kind of comes across the nose of the 28, and the 28 just kind of gets into the back of him. The 04 gets tagged, but I think stays okay. The 28, the 411, and then obviously the 41 just getting tagged, and then the 071 nowhere to go. He kind of comes in and puts little bumper cars at the end, but not a ton of damage for most, except for the 41 there. That's a big hit. The 411 actually has potentially some damage too, but the 38 and the 071 look okay. Gabe Butler getting on through. The 51 of Jim Brooks checking up and getting through okay. And yeah, that'll be a lot of chaos here tonight. But so we'll jump back live, and the move of the race could be on that last restart. Carl Lingle grabbing the bottom lane and then absolutely rocketing past the 0-2 and into the lead. That was a very solid move for the 30 and a very great recovery for him after the night that he has had after multiple incidents with a teammate. Fortunately for them, spirits are still light, and he finds himself in the lead with 6 to go. It'll be 5 to go as we cross the stripe, but we've got one more lap at least till we get restarted. So we are going to have a couple laps before we get going again. And we've gone through all of our commercials, so I think at least once. So I think we'll say we appreciate all of our sponsors, and we'll try to paint this picture here as we get ready for this restart with what will be 4 laps to go when they cross the stripe at the green flag. So Carl Lingle, the recovery, up to the lead after the move on the previous restart. Logan York, who has been the control car for almost all of tonight's race, finding a way to continue to click off laps led no matter what the challenger has been. Ed DeBoer, wrong place, wrong time in an earlier caution, takes the fast repair, finds himself in great track position, up 12 spots from his original starting position, in the top 3 at the moment. Bud Steele started 4th. We saw him a couple cautions ago get loose and spin out on the front stretch into the grass. He is back on the lead lap, and he is caught up, starting 4th on this restart after starting there to begin tonight. Ryan Decker there, top 5 for him at the moment. He's been mixing it up quite a bit, and the recovery for Patrick Groover gets back onto the lead lap after a lucky dog and a few incidents. Few brushes with the outside wall of his own doing, but quite a few incidents for him as well, not of his own doing tonight, and he's going to try and recover in that outside lane there. Ambrose Kniebel in the 04 had led on strategy a couple times at this race. He finds himself in the 7th position at the moment. To his outside will be the 071 of Eric Laurie with a little bit of damage to that Matco Tools Chevrolet. Nick Wing repairing as much damage as he can to that Barbasol number 38, but he is still in the top 10. And then the last caution coming out for Tom Dixon. He gets the fast repair and is ready to be back in this one. Gabe Butler, a couple laps down now, 2 down, finds himself in the 11th position and is just riding it out, hoping that enough yellows may fall for him to be able to get back to the lead lap, but that is highly unlikely at this point for him, unfortunately. And then Jeremy Osborne and Seth Groover are off track, still in the pits, repairing some damage as we are green flag once again, Matt.
What an incredible comeback story if this can happen, if Carl can pull this off.
Holding strong as they wreck behind him. Ryan Decker is up and into the wall. No yellow.
We're going to stay green?
Green flag. 3 laps to go. We stay green, so we're going to stay on the action at the front of this pack. But unfortunately for Ryan Decker, he's going to get collected in a wreck. So is Eric Laurie. Tom Dixon potentially involved. As they're going to wreck in the leaders. The 02, the 30, the 6 are all tied up. Ed DeBoer is going to get on through, and there is the yellow finally coming out.
No.
Oh, man, I don't even know. Let's try and take it back from the green flag and see if we can see more of what happened with Ryan Decker. We're not going to rewind it at slower speed. We'll just play it and see if we can make more sense of what happened. But it wasn't too long after the restart here, so we'll actually speed this up just a little bit before we get back to what happened and see if we can understand. But we'll pay attention to the 48 here. Unfortunately, there's no timestamp that's really easy for me to go back to, and you'll see there it is going into turn number 3. Now we'll rewind and press pause, and the 04 getting into the back of another driver into turn number 3 here, as he's going to send the 48 around. And unfortunately for the 48, obviously he is going to make contact with the outside wall, and I think the 28 there just a little bit. So, and a lot of contact from behind with the 071 with really nowhere to go. The 88 trying to check up as much as he can, and he's got nowhere to go. He gets into the back of the 48 as well. But the saving grace for Ryan Decker is he still is on the lead lap. So he should not have too much damage to repair. Not quite out of this one, but definitely a lot of drivers that were involved. And now we'll go to the issue that actually brought out the yellow if we can, and that involved some of our front runners. And see if we can understand it already happening here at this point in the replay. So, as always, we will rewind and we will replay and try to see exactly what went down. So, The 5-car breakaway, the 02, the 30, the 6, the 12, and the 54 off of turn number 2. And it looks like it could just be some tight racing, but you see the 30, I mean, everyone just kind of vying for kind of almost the exact same spots, and they make contact down the back straightaway. The 12 avoids it, but the 02, the 30, and the 12 just kind of wall ride. I mean, there's not really a lot of damage there for those cars, but obviously it was enough for the 30 to get spun around, and that is going to give us an opportunity to try and re-rack and restack and get ready for yet another restart, and this will be the first attempt at an official green-white checkered.
I'm still nervous.
So Ed DeBoer is going to be the control car for the restart. Logan York will start to his outside. Bud Steele is back in contention, up in 3rd place. Patrick Groover, who has been working the high side all night long, will start in the 4th position. Nick Wing, just barely involved in that previous yellow. The 04 involved, got in the back of the 48 to set off the chain reaction of the previous yellow. And you see Ryan Decker there getting some damage repaired. He's going to restart in the 7th position. Tom Dixon will be just behind him. And then you see the damage for the 88 of Gabe Butler. He is slowly inching his way back towards the front of the pack, though, even though he is 2 laps down. Gabe is now in the top 10 in 9th, 2 laps down. Eric Laurie is just behind him, still on pit road. So is Jeremy Osborne and Seth Groover continuing to repair damage. And then Carl Lingle is still taking a tow back to pit road, and then everyone from 14th on back, except for Jim Brooks, has retired as Jim continues to work 15 laps down. But yeah, are you think how many attempts at how many attempts at a green white checkered here are you guessing, Matt?
1. 1. Hopefully 1.
All right.
I'm really worried about the 6 car back there. He looks like he has a little bit right front damage here. He's ready to go green right now.
Oh, he's, a little slow, and he's going to get out of the way there. A little contact for the 38, but they keep rolling. The 12 of Ed DeBoer by himself on the inside. The 02 and the 54 working that high line all night long. They have a momentum, and they are pushed together. You see how much the 54 is pushing the 02. A little squirrely there through 1 and 2, but they have the advantage going down the back straightaway and the momentum, and they continue to get squirrely there as the 54 is all over the back bumper of the 02, trying to push themselves to the win. The 12 is now covered by the 02 as the 02 gets down and cleared to the lead. The white flag this time by.
I know both these top 2 drivers have not got an Area 51 win. As you know, I do love first-time winners as we go into 1.
Logan York controls from the lead once again. No pressure on back at the moment. Single file behind him. The 12 gets loose, and they are still behind 2 by 2 behind him. A little bit of a shove from the 12. The 02 stays strong, though. Will the 54 have any momentum on the outside? He could get to the quarter panel, but they're going to continue to battle it out for 2nd place. The 02 is going to come home, controlling almost every aspect of this race, and we have yet another first-time winner here in Area 51 history. Dominating performance for the 02 of Logan York.
Yes.
Continued to find a way to click off laps led. We said earlier on he was building the notebook to know exactly what moves to make. He makes them on the restart, and he gets there, gets the job done, seals the deal through a little bit of adversity, and takes it not the easy way for sure. He's going to do a little bit of a chaotic burnout as we see here. Maybe a little bit of fitting for all the contact that we had here tonight. But
if there's no, I know Ed's a little bit kind of almost getting his first win, but Ed, I know you're out there. Uh, keep your head high, brother. You'll get one. Trust me.
The 0-2 celebrating on the front stretch as he comes home a winner tonight. We'll go through those unofficial race results for you. Logan York with the dominating performance here tonight as he comes home. First time winner again for Area 51 in Area 51's history as well as his history here in the league. Ed DeBoer is going to come home in second place in that number 12 after a solid recovery for him, as well as for Patrick Groover there. Tried to make the moves to see what he could do to get in position and just came up a few spots short after trying to ride out the high line almost all night long. Nick Wing kind of hung out towards the less chaotic back half of the pack for a lot of the earlier portions and struck while the iron was hot towards the end, coming home with a solid top 5 finish. I was gonna say. Ryan Decker there comes through a little bit of adversity. Part of the cause of the final caution there. No, not too much harm or foul as he gets back up to the 5th position, and still a solid showing for him tonight after what was a very eventful race. Ambrose Kniebel there in the 0-4 for Blind Squirrel Racing there, involved in a few incidents, but he is going to still come home in that 6th position. We saw Tom Dixon, similar strategy to Nick Wing, hung out in the back, and then unfortunately involved in some of those later cautions, but still able to come back to a 7th place finish. And we saw Bud Steele handling a little bit of adversity for himself at the end. Had a really strong showing tonight, qualified 4th, and was really mixing it up. Really had a solid car and a solid run going for him, but still top 10 honors for him for tonight. Gabe Butler as well caught up in a few incidents there, some hard racing, and he's going to have to come home 2 laps down with a damaged Chevrolet there for Team Bootnaka Esports, as well as his teammate Eric Laurie, who's going to finish 5 laps down there in the top 10 in that 071. Carl Engel there had an up and down night. He's going to finish just ahead of Jeremy Osborne, who he had plenty of fun with here tonight as his teammate. A little contact between the two, but no hard feelings for the 30 and the 41 of Blind Squirrel Racing as they come home 11th and 12th. Seth Groover there in the 32. He's going to finish 15 laps down, just ahead of Jim Brooks there, who stayed out on track and managed to grab a few spots towards the end for himself there, coming home in P14. Dean Wilkinson getting taken out early, wrong place, wrong time, as well as really Robert Hooligan in the 126. Robert had a really strong run going, unfortunately building, and then had some couple incidents back-to-back where ran out of fast repairs and honestly ran out of time to repair that Chevrolet. Then we know Giovanni Occhipinti and Bob Fitzgerald both retiring fairly early on, 46 and 57 laps down respectively. So yeah, definitely a very, very eventful night here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And we are getting ready here for our interviews here as we'll bring them up one by one and try and see if we can grab them ahead of time, throw them in our quiet room here as I get ready to pull them up. And again, always love first time winner, which we'll be excited to talk to you in just a moment. But before we get to that, it will be one of the Groover brothers. It's going to be Patrick who is going to come home in the 3rd position. Patrick, we saw you have a fairly up and down night tonight, but a solid recovery to get back up through the field. Saw you make a couple brushes with the wall at a couple times and some contact in some yellows that just a lot of crazy, a lot of hard racing out there, but he made it back, and we get a chance to interview for 3rd. So yeah, take it away. How did that go? How do you think that race went for you tonight?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. It's always fun when it's loose and you gotta. Oh, hold on. I got other people on the mic. Yeah, no, it was it's always fun when you gotta drive the car, you know. But it's a tighter track, and that wall really juts out coming out of that corner there. I kind of hit it a couple times there.
Yeah, you definitely were trying to make that high line work, and obviously, like, I mean, it seemed like you guys could get decent amount of momentum on that high side. But I mean, obviously, you and the O2 spent a lot of time up there just trying to manage as much as you could. But it seemed like there was something to gain. But obviously, with what seemed like really hot track temperatures and a lot of sliding around, it seemed like it was really hard to try and manage that speed.
Yeah, it was just super loose. And as you could see, everybody's fighting it. But no, it was a lot of fun. Logan, he's a good driver there, and he kept his car. Looks like he kept his car clean the whole race there, and congrats to him for the win.
Yeah, we saw a really solid push from you on the restart there, getting the O2 kind of out to the lead. At that point, once he was kind of cleared, did you think that you had an opportunity to try and get up there and to the front, or what was your kind of strategy going into that final restart?
Looked like everybody just lined up on the bottom, so I didn't have. Once he got clear, I didn't really have anybody to help me up top, so kind of figured uh, it it was gonna end up the way it did.
Good deal. Well, still a very solid night for you, especially after the recovery, and still top three honors for you here tonight. I know there's one fan that's for sure watching. I'm sure that'll be part of the thanks and shoutouts, but I'll give you the floor for those at this time.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for broadcasting this. Then Seth is my teammate out there. He did a good job helping when he could. And, shout out to my mom and dad for always watching the streams and supporting me.
Good deal. Well, congratulations, Patrick, on a very hard-earned top three tonight. Definitely a lot of cars passed to get to that, and congrats, and hope to talk to you again soon.
Yeah, you too, guys. See you.
Moving on through, the number 12 also had a bit of an up and down night and a solid recovery for him as well, as he's going to come home in the second position here in that number 12 Black Rifle Coffee Company Chevrolet. Yeah, definitely, Ed, it was quite a bit of some chaos here tonight. We saw you get caught up in it early on. In a wreck that you kind of wrong place, wrong time, but grabbed the fast repair, a little bit of a recovery, and you're right back up in it.
Yeah, just patience. That's the way I drive. It's the way I race. Patience and give grace, and just let it come to me. Sometimes I give a little bit too much grace there. I could have probably, pushed it a little harder there with Logan and taken home P1, but, I don't wreck people.
Yeah, definitely was a very hard battle. I think a lot of people coming into this night. I mean, obviously we've known Atlanta's been a little bit of chaos recently, but with that recent history, were you expecting tonight be as loose and slidey and hot and slick as it was?
Oh, as soon as we got in tonight and I saw the track temperature already at 128 degrees and got out on the track and ran some fast laps with Gabe. Both of us were just pushing the cars hard. And I wanted to see what the edge was, and I found where the edge was. So yeah, yeah. But it was slick. It was slick. But just a few different settings that I do with that I can do that you have available to do with the fixed setup, and and just be patient as you come into the corner entries. And I know myself and some of my teammates are pretty good with saving some tires and usually end up having a little stronger car at the end.
Yeah, it seemed like from what we can hear in the chat, it sounds like a lot of people were just having a lot of fun with actually having fun with it, with how much these cars were sliding around. I want to hear your take on that. Was it exciting experience, or was it kind of a bit of a pucker and death grip on the wheel kind of experience for you tonight?
It was relaxed experience for me.
Good.
It really honestly wasn't sliding around a lot for me. The guys that go out there and just go full bore the whole dang time, those guys are burning off their tires. I mean, obviously you can see I don't go full bore the whole time. I race with patience and grace, and know what my car can do, and again, the settings that you can do with a fixed setup car, and you just adjust those, and my car didn't slip and slide at all.
Well, I think that patience and that grace that you talked about were definitely some of your keys to get back up into contention. up 13 spots in the night. That'll be officially the hard charger for you. So congratulations, and
Thank
yeah,
you.
want to give you the floor now for any thanks or shoutouts for that
Yeah, it's
second place. Yeah.
first podium finish here in Area 51, so that's always a nice thing. I got a good group of teammates back there in the Roswell Motorsports team with, Bud and Jim and Nick and Ryan and uh, all the other guys who weren't there tonight. So it was good racing with them. This is my first season with the team, so coming on with the team and those guys welcome me in like they have, and we just have a good time. So thank you to all of them. Thank you to my wife and boys. They allow me the time to come down here and do this. Shout out to my son who's deployed over in South Korea. I've got his name on my car, so shout out to him for everything that he does and serving in the Army, and all the other vets and everyone else who's serving. So, and also a thank you to you guys for the broadcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we hope he has a safe tour, and definitely appreciate him and his service. Absolutely, and congratulations once again to you, Ed, on that second place finish tonight.
Thank you very much.
Alrighty, so that leaves one more here, Matt, and I believe if I'm not mistaken, this is one of your favorite experiences here to get to bring in.
Yeah, our first time winners,
Yeah, first
as
time
we
winner.
like to do here. Yep.
All right,
Congratulations, Mr. Logan York.
well,
you flat out dominated this race here, buddy.
Yes, sir. It's pretty fun.
Well, Logan,
Go ahead,
we saw a really good battle. I mean, we called it as domination. Towards the end, the last couple laps, as you cost the stripe too for the win. But I mean, time after time, we saw you battling with people on the inside and the outside, and just managing. I think there was like a 15 or 20 lap stretch there where you just kind of managed to continue to lead the laps no matter what, and get that those laps led, and obviously it led to the final lap led and the victory here for you tonight. So I don't need to do any more talking. I want to hear from you. What did it look like from your vantage point behind the driver's seat?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I wish I would have qualified one spot better to kind of sweep it, but I kind of messed up in the turn. The race had a lot of cautions, but that's okay. I just wanted to manage my tires as much as I could by like doing the high to low line. I don't know what you'd call it. And unfortunately, they kept wrecking behind me, so I never really got too old of tires because we kept being allowed to go down and get some more tires. Um, the racing was pretty good. I had a couple close calls, especially one with Hooligan. When I go down and get to his inside after he passed me, and I almost clipped him, but fortunately I didn't. Yeah, it's pretty fun with the people that were up front. It's pretty clean.
Yeah, definitely. It was. I mean, we obviously a lot of people have talked about what they saw with the track temps being kind of high and kind of crazy to start the race. Was it something that you were kind of expecting or looking forward to with how much you might have known that these cars were going to slide around tonight?
Um, I didn't really see the track temp. I kind of run the same line the whole time. It kind of helped me that it was a hot track because I was trying to turn the wheel as little as possible. So I knew if I save tires if I was able to pull away and then save tires, the car I'd be able to save some more while the guys behind me were side by side. So I knew they would be sliding around a lot, and I just tried to manage it until I got competition to the inside, and then I when I used my tires, it was just trying to take the lead back from them.
Yeah, no, we called it on the broadcast too to see. I mean, you were entering, I mean, very high in one and then dropping down to the bottom. I mean, just like I mean, really kind of a classic old school Atlanta racing line. And like you said, I mean, it seemed like that made a very big difference for you in order to keep traction. To kind of save those tires. I mean, it looked like everyone was taking four tires every opportunity they got. It seemed like that was, I mean, absolutely one of the keys to having grip at all times.
Yeah, you kind of had to take four tires if you were caught without 4 tires and on a restart. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you could see what happened to Ambrose when he didn't take 4 tires.
Yeah,
He
we did see that. Yeah.
started in the lead and he kind of died. But yeah, if you need to do 4 tires every pit stop, I mean, unless it's been like 2 laps, I mean, you don't really need to pit after 2 laps. But
Sure.
anything more than that, you need to take tires.
Yes, the last question I'll ask before I give you a second for shoutouts here, but looked like you got quite a bit of a push from the 54 down the back straightaway on that restart there. It looked like that was quite a bit of a handful as you were trying to get to the front and just hold it wide open.
Yeah, I'm trying to look at the replay while I talk, so I don't
Oh, you're fine.
say something incorrect. Yes, I told Bud earlier, Bud Steele, I think that's his name. Yeah, Bud Steele, that he didn't have to lift on me, especially coming to the end of the race. And I think Patrick probably heard that and did that, and it was pretty awesome. Got a huge run coming out of 2. The cars to me isn't that really that hard compared to the next gen and the truck. I think this is probably one of the easiest to control a bump, especially when they know when they're a good pusher, like I know Patrick is. I think he got a little loose himself, so maybe it was a little net code. That's why we got sideways. But yeah, other than that, the pushes were pretty good. That definitely helped me win.
Yeah, well, we'll let that lead into those thanks for shoutouts you'd like to give. First time winner for you here in Area 51, Logan York. Take it away.
Thank you guys for broadcasting. I want to thank the admins of Area 51 that put the races up. I thank all the drivers that showed up and everyone that watches the broadcasts. That's it.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, Logan. And I know Matt and I always love to see a first-time winner here, and hopefully it's the first of many for you here at Area 51.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Have a good night.
You too.
Alrighty, so that will do it for us here tonight. It was a very spirited battle, a lot of fun that we got to see. Plenty of action, plenty of yellows, and we saw obviously a lot of the drivers were talking about kind of that expectation of, I mean, we've seen quite a bit of chaos here at Atlanta recently with, like we said in the past, all the changes to the model and all the, the different updates to the sim that we've seen in the recent past. Hot track temperature, hot setup, and it seems like it's been very exciting setups for these. I know for a fact the hottest that you can get Atlanta Motor Speedway to be in the sim is about 138 degrees. And if the track temperature is 128, you're not that far off from that. So it's about as hot as it gets. It's about as slick as it gets. And obviously, we saw Logan really holding a pretty wheel and doing a really, really good job to manage this race. And had a very solid finish. So lots of comers and goers, lots of recoveries, which was cool to see for obviously the 12 and the 54, who looked like they might have been out of it at certain points in the race. But O2 continued to battle strong, and he comes home first-time winner here, Matt.
Yeah, first-time winners here, but as I say, I do like first-time winners. We almost got another first time. Ed almost prevailed there, and yeah. Do I feel sorry for Ed? Yeah, I do know Ed kind of personally there. He really, really, really wanted that victory, um, especially for his family and all them. Um, but I know he'll get one. I'm just looking forward to him. Probably toward the end of the season. I'm not going to jinx him or nothing, but he's got a shot. He's got the potential.
Well, definitely a solid opportunity for the top two for their first podiums, and obviously for Logan for his first win. We can't let you go without talking about what's to come here on Green White Checker TV, as always. So we're through Atlanta. The 7th race of the season. We'll have the 8th race in 2 weeks' time at Talladega Super Speedway. Take the Thanksgiving Day off next week on the 28th, and we'll be back for 3 straight weeks. So December 5th, again, Talladega, then iRacing Superspeedway in Daytona. The last 2 weeks, the 12th and 19th of December, will be the playoffs for the third season of 2024 here on Thursday nights. On Sunday, we are going to have our first race of the playoffs coming up this weekend, actually, on November 24th. So that'll be Daytona International Speedway, followed up by iRacing Superspeedway, Atlanta, and Talladega for the next 4 weeks. So Sunday will start their playoff and look to crown a champion there. And they, without the all the holiday breaks we've had on Thursdays, Sunday actually gets to have the full 4-race season finale and playoffs with the top 12 drivers there. So looking forward to some playoff action coming up here on Sunday nights. And then it was the return of the Tuesday Area 51 Dark Horse IndyCar Series as they headed to Homestead just 2 nights ago. And then they'll have a full schedule all the way through to April 29th, where they finish the season at Auto Club. So very excited to finally have the Tuesday IndyCar Series back, and we'll see them competing throughout the end of this year and then into the new year as well. So kind of changing it up a little bit from the standard 12 race. Seasons 3 a year for Area 51 and the Dark Horse Racing Series. So, with that, any closing thoughts for us before we sign off here, Matt?
Hot track.
Hot track.
Very difficult.
Hot
Hotlanta, as you would say.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a bit of a handful for some of these guys. How some of you guys have learned this track here. The next time we come here, if the kitchen conditions are hot, they'll be able to adjust to it quite well. And if they do cool down a little bit, maybe we'll get some nice green flag runs in. And other than that, my friend, got a first time winner. I'll say it again, but it's good to see it. I like first time winners. I do.
Always exciting to see for sure as the O2 brings home the checkered flag. Ed DeBoer gets his first podium in Area 51, and a win to come soon for sure with the patience that he has shown behind the wheel. But that'll do it for us tonight. Reminder, always check in to Greenwire Checker TV for all your Area 51 action on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. We appreciate you all. Obviously, next week will be Thanksgiving break. Said it before, but want to take the second to hope you all have safe travels if you're going home to see any family or any friends and celebrate the holiday. Or if you're just sticking around home, hopefully get a chance to have a nice warm meal or whatever traditions you may have for Thanksgiving. And we appreciate all of you here at Area 51. Especially from us here at Green White Checker TV. It's an honor and a privilege to be able to bring you this action. So stay safe travels, have a wonderful holiday break, and we'll be back 2 weeks' time with more racing action. So for myself, Boomer Logan, for Matt Wagner, Guile Brooks, and all of our partners here at Green White Checker TV, thank you and take care.